We really are in a unique time in history today. Talk a little bit about just the marketplace and what we see going on today. Because if you're a dentist owning a practice, you've got some options, don't you?
Very true. I guess whenever I started selling practices, again, 15 years ago, there weren't nearly as many options. Essentially, what the general idea was you were going to sell your practice either to an associate or to a partner or to someone else moving into a community. And that was essentially it. DSOs and private equity had really not started up. DSO is not a word, I don't believe, at that point. It is called umbrella corporations at that point. But slowly but surely, what we've kind of seen is going to be there has been consolidation. And that consolidation kind of has funneled over from the medical space into dentistry, which has been the hardest one to consolidate with all the different mom and pop dentists that are out there. And, 15 years ago, whenever I started, there was essentially 0% consolidation. Right now, there's somewhere between 25 and 30%, kind of depending on who you like and who you trust. And we're going to be going towards something like 60 to 70% consolidation over the next 10 years. So we're right in the middle of a very, very big wave that only happens once, so it is kind of a unique time in history.
Now, when you say that 60 to 70% consolidation, what does that mean, right? How can we even think about that? What are we looking at happening?
Yeah. Well, I think that a good correlation is going to be kind of what's happened in other medical verticals and what's happened in other countries, right? So in other medical verticals, whether we just kind of consider hospital systems, right? Or if we consider, call it the dialysis market and DaVita, who's come in and essentially been the 800-pound gorilla in that room. There will be that in dentistry, right? So there's going to be the largest one. Right now, that biggest one is going to be Heartland, as a for instance. But really, whenever you look at it, they have 1,400 practices, right? So they have less than 1% total consolidation. So there's so much left to go. That being said, there are 350 plus DSOs that are out there now, and I would consider them very, very similar to dentists. Some of them are good, some of them not so good, right? And so, what I think that one of our biggest jobs is as advisors is going to be to make sure that the right ones end up winning this game, right? And hopefully that empowering the dentists that are along with that ride to allow them to have a really, really, really great upside on the back end as well.
Okay. So really, we're looking in the next, what you said, how long until we see that consolidation? Mm-hmm. So about 60 to 70% of the market is actually going to be held by these DSOs and group practices, and the sole practitioner will be about 30% of the market.
Yeah, and there's a lot of macro reasons to get you there, right? So this isn't something that we have control over. Quite frankly, if I had my druthers, I don't know if I would want this, but regardless, this is what's happening, right? So the macro factors out there are going to be, high student loan costs, right? The changing demographics of dentistry. There's a lot of folks who are coming out that are wanting different things than practitioners wanted 20 years ago. And then also a high regulatory environment, right? And there's much more things that a doctor needs to understand and do, and not just being an excellent practitioner, not just being an excellent businessman, but there's all of these other layers of regulation they now have to deal with. So because of that, it's nice to have support organizations on the back end that can help with those different layers of regulation.